Hi, it's me, Curtis. Welcome to the show. Today, I'm outside the Palace of Fine Arts here in San Francisco. Love this spot. Back in the day when I had hair, younger man, and people would visit from the East Coast, like mom and dad from Georgia, my brothers, my sisters, every visitor I would bring to the Palace of Fine Arts. Some great memories here. As my children were growing up and the Discovery Museum was here back then, I'd bring them here. So there's a lot of great memories at this location. I want to share it with you all. So if you get a chance to just walk around the park here, please do it, okay? The show today, wow. We're gonna start off in that bag of produce that I got from the Homeless Garden Project at Santa Cruz, California. Check them out if you're ever down towards Santa Cruz, okay? I'm gonna do the foil wrap potatoes, sweet as well as those red potatoes. You're gonna like that. My buddy Bill Hope. Bill and I met in junior high school, and we lost Bill about 6 years ago. So I got a tribute to Bill today because Bill made steak, the way he seasoned steak. And my boys would always say, Dad, make steak like Uncle Bill. Gee, I'm the chef, and Bill was a produce dude like me, right? But he did make great steak. So love you, Bill, always will. Pesto, gonna make that pesto I talked to you about as well. Now, full disclosure, the basil I brought back from Santa Cruz wilted a little too much for me to use, so I supplemented with some from my garden as well as some I picked up from the grocery store. You're gonna like the pesto, I think. So easy, so tasty. What else can I share with you? Nothing. Just spread love. Come check out the Palace of Fine Art if you get a chance. All right, peace. See you soon. Be the change you want to see in the world. Holla. Well, that one we can't use. Oh, but I'm going to have fun with it. That one's got a little soft spot. Okay. Beans. Oh, wow. Don didn't tell me what kind of beans these were. Look at those, gorgeous. All right, we're going to cook those. I'm going to soak these on my way to yoga. So when I get back, we can start cooking with those, okay? So it is 8:04 now. So I'm going to, I'll get those started. We may not cook those till tomorrow morning. And that is it. The only thing left in the bag is one more sweet potato. Yesterday, I took those peas that we had looked at. Now, I've soaked these overnight to make them nice and soft. And I stopped by the local nursery and asked what type of peas these were because they weren't labeled. And no one knew. So one of the people at the nursery, one of the landscape architects said, well, it looks like a cowpea. I said, are you from the South? He goes, yeah. I said, I was thinking that too. It looks like cowpea. However, I wasn't sure. So one of the ladies there suggested just Googling images of cowpeas. And I'm telling you, they're a lot more than I ever thought they were when it comes to the cowpeas. And the same family that has black-eyed peas, red, all those things are part of the cowpea family. Anyway, these are a type of cowpea. I hope to get an exact name. So what I've done is soak them overnight and wash them. I'm gonna take this water because we gotta be careful with water out here. And I'm gonna use this water in my garden. So I'm not gonna just throw the water out. Then we'll cook these beans, get them started. Okay, let's go to the stovetop. How'd that sound, love? There's a little Vidalia sweet onion. I'm gonna just cut half of it. And now today I'm not doing my shot from down under. I'll do it a little later on, okay? Sometimes I feel like I may overuse that shot. And I'm also gonna use some of these onions in my beans, the cow peas. Okay, so again, chopping is easy. Now, when you look at the ridges in an onion, you don't really need to slice through. If you just take and cut down like this, now watch this. Because of the way an onion grows, those layers, it's naturally diced. Watch this here, see? And all those little sprigs there. So a lot of times you'll see people slice through like that. No need to. Just run down, and there you go. You can get a nice fine dice with that. Okie dokie. Onions are ready for Lisa. Now I'm gonna take the other half and I'm gonna chop them and add them to these cowpeas. And they're gonna cook down really nicely in the when the beans, because these beans are gonna cook for 4 or 5 hours. I'm gonna cook these very, very slow. Onion, as my friend down in Louisiana, Justin would say, whoo boy, them onions are really good. That's a terrible Cajun accent, but forgive me, my friends down in Louisiana. but I tried. Now I want to show you these beautiful Bermuda onions, the red ones. And I do like the tops. However, these aren't as pretty as some we've seen. And I blame that on myself for not opening that bag up as soon as we got home Sunday night. That's on me, not on you. Okay, I'm just going to cut those, discard them. Remember, these tops are wonderful with baked potatoes in place of chives. Okay. Now these are going to be we'll use for our hash browns. Slice through that, and I'm going to dice these really fine. This little chop there. I'm gonna leave the greens a little larger because I want them to add some dimension. All right, now we are ready to go cook our hash browns. I'm gonna add water, salt, pepper, some other seasoning to this. We're gonna bring it to a boil, lower it, and while I'm off to my second yoga class this week, 2 days in a row, Lisa will keep an eye on these. So cross our fingers, make sure hope she doesn't burn them while I'm away, okay? I'm kidding. And we're also gonna add some oil to this. All right, let's go to the stovetop. Okay, so let's get our beans, our cowpeas ready. And these are just, like I said, in that family like red beans and black-eyed peas. So I've got the onions, the peas. I'm gonna add olive oil, maybe quarter cup or more. There's no saturated fat in this dish. And remember, beans, that legume family, they're complex carbohydrates, easy to think, hard to say. And I've got about 5 cups of water on the side. What I want you to do is cover the beans, enough water to cover the beans. So that's 1 cup. This is a 2-cup holder, so that's gonna be a total of 3 cups. Well, all right, we've got 2 cups of water. Gonna bring that to a boil, place a lid on, and let it simmer. And I want you to check it every 20, 30 minutes. If the water is dropped below the beans, add more water. We're gonna cook these very, very slowly so they become nice and tender. So we've got oil, onions, we've got the green onions tops. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper. And if you'd like to add garlic or garlic salt, feel free to do so. Any things that you like to make your dishes taste great, that's what I want you to try. Okay? I always talk about recipes as being starting points. There's some salt, just enough to get it going, and then we're gonna add some ground pepper. And we'll come back and taste these a little later to see if we need to adjust our seasoning. Garlic salt, garlic, fresh garlic, garlic powder, whichever you like to use, you can go and do that. You can even add your seasoned salt if you're a seasoned salt fan, or chili powder, whatever you like to spice it up or liven it up, okay? All right, I'm gonna run to yoga while Lisa keeps an eye on these. You okay watching these today, baby, while I'm gone?
You got it.
Okay, love ya. Peace, everybody, spread love. My first yoga class in about a year, in a group that is, my first hot yoga class, and it was what I needed. I was saying to the teacher, Gina, sometimes you have to be away from something to realize how much you miss it, and yeah, I miss yoga. I love the feeling I have right now. Spread love, everybody. Peace. Yoga. All right, our beans, ooh, they're looking so good. Now those look like black beans, don't they? Anyway, we will find out the name of this particular variety of cowpea at some point. I'm gonna turn these off, let's taste them. Interesting show, right? I'm gonna just do a bunch of different dishes this week. May have enough to do 2 shows. Those are gorgeous. I think tonight we're gonna have meat-free burritos. What do you think? What I'm gonna do is drain this liquid off, and I'm going to cook some pasta in that liquid. I'm telling y'all, it is so good. Pasta cooked in that is fabulous. Well, maybe I should have used some red tomatoes instead of the yellow tomatoes in there. However, I think it's going to be fabulous. That sour cream and the onions and the cheese. Oh, yeah. Easy recipe, simple. Takes a while because you want to cook those peas down to they're nice and soft. This is wonderful, y'all. Okay, so we are working our way through the bag of produce from the Homeless Garden Project of Santa Cruz, California. Potatoes, sweet potato. That looks like a bee red. I should put my glasses on, right? Let's look in the bag. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. Oh, more of the Thai basil. Let's go. Oh, wow, that smells so good. A couple of bags in here. A bag within a bag. Let's see what we've got. Don, thank you very much. Ah, these are those beautiful more bee red potatoes. Okay, they're 2 for $6. See my sweet potatoes, I've got 3 of them, and 4 beautiful red potatoes as we work our way through that bag of produce from the Homeless Garden Project of Santa Cruz, California. And the star tonight was going to be a dinner, that is, not of the show, but a ribeye. Lisa and I will share that. We'll probably only eat half of it, and then we can make steak sandwiches or steak salad later. In this little segment, I want to show you 2 of my favorite ways. Well, one of my favorite ways to prepare both potatoes, the sweet potatoes as well as just the bakers. And just a sheet of tinfoil. I'm going to wrap the potato. And remember, once you wrap a potato or you cook it in foil, it's not a baker anymore. It's going to be steamed. The potato will be steamed. What I like to do is pierce them with a fork 1 or 2 times, right? Then we're going to add some olive oil to these. And I'm trying to make sure that Lisa and I both have kind of an equal portion, just 2 or 3 times with the fork. That way the potato, the steam will release and stay nice and moist inside that foil. I'm going to put 2 in per bag there. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil. The Hilltop Cafe used to do this incredible potato where they put pepper on it. It was just gorgeous. Some cracked pepper. And you can add any of your favorite seasonings to this. I just love the way the pepper, and I'm going to add some salt there, Himalayan sea salt. And I've got some of my spices, some garlic, some onion, all kinds of different beautiful spices in there. We're going to seal this as tightly as possible. There's 2 small potatoes in there, so that's 1 portion. That's 1. That'll be mine. Oh no, those are small potatoes, so that's Lisa's. The bigger spuds will be mine. Now the difference in the way I prepare the sweet potatoes, you'll see. Again, we're going to pierce them with the fork so that they cook all the way through. It helps to speed the cooking up as well. And that potato, we could also, I can show you someday a recipe for a roasted potato salad. There we go. Just a lot of olive. Just be generous with that olive oil. And if you don't like olive oil, you can use peanut oil. Boom shakalaka. Salt, pepper. The reason I'm not using butter is, remember, butter has a lower smoking point, so it's more apt to burn on the grill than the olive oil is. So that's the reason we're not using butter. You can add butter towards the end if you want. Just seal that up nicely. We don't want any cracks. We want it to stay tightly sealed. Now the difference when we do the sweet potatoes, check this out. I'm going to take each potato and just put a slit in it, okay? Just slice into it, okay? Even the little small one there. Oh, these are gorgeous potatoes, sweet potatoes. Just slit that, right? And I'm not going to totally seal them in the foil. I'm just going to allow the foil, make almost like a little basket there, so that they won't fall through the cracks. I may need to use a different sheet. I want to give them enough room so they spread out, because remember, if they're touching, it'll take longer, more cooking time, okay? Voila. We're going to take these to the grill. cook them up, and then have dinner.
You're just going to
Trevor Paul Martin.
Trevor Paul Martin.
Gallery director at the Post Gallery here.
Fantastic. And the newlyweds, wave a hand in the air like you care.
Oh, I care. We're about to savor a bottle of champagne.
Wow. Last time I saw that, well, I can't tell you when that was because there was a Norwegian. No, I'm kidding, honey.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Is this safe?
That's safe as long as you're behind that. All right, guys. Happy honeymoon, happy anniversary.
Whoa! Okay, we've got the sweet potato is done. And let me show you my favorite way to serve this beautiful tater up. Oh, nice and hot. See all that darkness around, that's that natural sugar. So I'm gonna peel it from the tin foil and place it on. And truth be told, I was on a Zoom call and it cooked a little longer than I wanted. However, look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Now here's my favorite way to serve this up, just to peel that flesh back. Ooh, hot stuff, like my love. Anyway, so we're gonna peel this back. She's laughing or she's giggling over this. She just got back from getting her hair did. Okay, now look at, isn't that beautiful? Sweet potato magic. Now I'm gonna press it down. You could call this a smashed potato if you want. A little bit of cinnamon. And there's a joke around our house because, what was I making for you, honey, that I grabbed the, oatmeal. Oh my God, I was making oatmeal, right? And normally I put a little brown sugar, some milk, and some cinnamon. And I didn't have my glasses on, so I grabbed, what was that, honey? Cumin. Oh my goodness. Now all I'm gonna do is just add a little bit of butter to this gorgeous potato. And you don't have to add the butter. You know, they are so sweet and juicy. Woo, look at that. Just let that butter melt. And I just added what? A quarter of a pad. I didn't even add a full pad. Now, you just kind of mix it up. It's like having a nice little sweet potato pie without a crust. Okay, now there we go. There's our sweet potato. Look at that beautiful cinnamon. My mouth is running. Okay, I'm gonna taste this up. Oh, baby. Gorgeous. See those red potatoes. Oh, look at those. Can you see that at home? Ooh la la. Gonna take one of those out and put it on our, whoops, that's hot. Hot and good. And I've got some fixings over here. Some sour cream, cheese, and our chives. Well, they're not really chives. They're those green onions. Remember the red onions I had from the bag? Those Bermuda red onions, that's the green tops. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's put a little butter. Remember, as much or as little as you like, okay? I am not here to judge you. Not my job as a chef to judge you or how you eat. You know, that's a personal thing. Now, I've got some cheese. Your favorite, I'm using cheddar here. I'm gonna add the sour cream. I think we'll top it with the chives. The small end of our spatula. And then what's next? A little salt and pepper. Well, we don't really need salt and pepper because we've got it on the outside. However, I love that Himalayan salt, so we'll just add a little bit. And just a little pepper. Voila. Oops. Can't say voila till I add. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Good stuff. Okay. Let's eat. Manja, manja, manja. Okay. My steak. This is an ode to my buddy, one of my best friends of life, Bill Hope. Love you, Bill Hope. Rest in peace, my brother. Know you are in my heart forever. My boys loved when Uncle Bill, that's what they called him, Uncle Bill would prepare steak. So, I'm doing the Bill Hope method for you tonight. Worcestershire sauce, garlic, got salt, pepper, seasoned salt, and Bill would pierce the steak. He would just take and pierce it like that. No, Bill was not a chef. He just loved to cook. And you're saying, oh God, Curtis, don't wreck that beautiful bone-in ribeye. Trust me, we're not wrecking it. See those little punctures there? That allows this beautiful Worcestershire W sauce, as Jesse Sapulo, All-Pro center for the San Francisco 49ers, would say, W sauce. That allows that W sauce to seep in. It doesn't just sit on the top, right? Now, a little bit of Himalayan salt. Oh yeah, that's gonna bring out the moisture. Don't worry about it, y'all. We're not gonna burn it, so it's gonna stay nice and moist in the middle. Black pepper, cracked pepper, onion, garlic, any kind of seasoning you want to put on your steak. You make your own rub. This is your house. Protect your house. Thinking about football, so I'm like, protect your house. Okay. That's onion, garlic, some seasoned salt out of my little stash. This is dry herbs. I mean, there's rosemary, dill, there's all kind of good stuff in there. Sage. Now look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Allow that to seep in. Now, a little bit of oil on top. Don't go crazy. Just enough though to like get those spots, where the fat ain't at. So it dance. I'm gonna let that sit there for just a few minutes before I flip it and check the other side, okay? All right, we'll be back in a flash. Miguelito. Okay, we're gonna let that just kind of sit there for about 3 minutes. See how those juices start to come up? Nice. I'm gonna flip it over. A little Biv DeVoe. I do make a lot of music references, don't I? I love it though. Again, pierce that. Those potatoes, sweet potatoes, the red potatoes are out in the grill going. And I'm going to add a little Worcestershire again on this side. Same process. Okay? Just let it all get in that meat. Flavor that meat up. Salt. And pepper. And then we're going to add our seasoning. And it's okay to just coat it on there. Ooh. Just let it sit there. Let it marry. Mary, Mary, why you bugging? Did I ever tell you I did a show with Rev Run back in the day? Run DMC. Okay, now, ready to take that to the grill. Let's do some cooking, y'all. When last we spoke, I was putting the herbs that I kind of wilted over into some water. So that was yesterday. Now look at them, how they have totally perked back up. So that's a trick for you. When you get home with those fresh herbs from the grocery store, or even when you cut them from the garden, just snip the bottom, put them in water, and they'll stay nice and fresh. Okay, we're gonna use those for pesto and a couple other things as we go along. We are working our way through that bag of beautiful produce from the Homeless Garden Project of Santa Cruz, California. One of the last couple of items is the basil, fresh basil. And what I've done is I've stripped all the basil leaves from the stalks. And before, oh, it smells so good. Before we make our pesto, I thought I'd share a story with you back in the day, in the early 80s. 1980s, that is. No, it was more towards the latter 80s. I was working at Balducci's in New York City, 6th Avenue, Avenue of the Americas, and down in the, I think it was 11th Street. I loved working at Balducci's. And every day, this buddy of mine, Salvatore, would take a fresh basil leaf and put it in his pocket. And I remember thinking, so one day I go, Sal, what up with the basil every day? Why do you do that every day? He goes, Curtis. I can't do an Italian accent, so I don't want to offend anyone, but he was explaining that you put the green basil leaf in your pocket and you're never broke because you always got some greenback. I cracked up. Sal was such a cool dude. All those guys I worked with at Balducci's when I was young. You're still a young man, baby. Tower power. Throw out the props. So what we're gonna do is wash the basil leaves, that is. We're gonna rinse them off, take a paper towel, just get all that water out. Then we'll make our pesto. Don't you go away. Pesto, 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 pesto. Back in the kitchen with Curtis. What I've done is I've already washed our basil. And as you can see, I've got paper towel, and I'm just kind of taking as much water out as possible without damaging our basil leaves. And see how much water that is? That's a lot of water in there. So we're gonna set that aside, and then I'm gonna just run another paper towel through it, just kind of pat more out. It's okay if there's a little water in there. And Lisa wanted me to show you after rinsing this how much sand was in the bottom, but I thought, well, we'll save that for another time. So really, it's important that you wash these basil leaves or any fresh herb, because according to where they're grown, there could be a lot of sand or grit in those leaves, and it's very important to do that. Now those tender leaves, those tender stems I'll leave on, something like that, I'll go through and really kind of check it out. Okay, let's make our pesto. Ingredients. We've got our basil leaves, of course, and I'm gonna stuff those into the bottom of our blender here. A mixer, blender, whatever you got, just enough to get it going. So we're gonna start there. And as we grind them up, we'll add more, okay? Okie dokie. Now, then we've got garlic, the garlic, right there, garlic, and the pine nuts. Oh, I just love pepino. Pine nuts, they're great. And then our Parmesan cheese. And this is one of those times that you really want a nice olive oil, nice extra virgin olive oil, because this is a totally raw dish and you want the beautiful flavors. We got a California Napa Valley olive oil here. So you want that taste. Garlic, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. You won't need much because we're using that Parmigiano Reggiano Parmesan. Ain't that a mouthful to say, but we're using a nice Italian cheese blend here. Okay, so it's an easy process. It's so funny because pesto is so easy to make. Why don't I make it more often? Who knows, Curtis George? Okay, let's sprinkle in some parm. Gonna add a couple of leaves of a couple of cloves of the garlic. 1, 2. We'll add some pine nuts and we'll blend up, and then we'll add more as we go. Okie doke. Let's take your time. We're gonna blend it all up. A little olive oil. Gotta make sure I get my little sprig there. Don't be afraid to use your olive oil here. Top goes on. And I did test this earlier. It's always one of those things when you're working with a tool, making sure it works. Just take your time. We're gonna blend all that up. Ooh, the pesto is done, y'all. Let's give it a little taste and see where we're at. Get a spoon out. Okay. We'll give it a taste. See if we need to add any salt, pepper, if it's too clumpy. Wow, that's gorgeous right there. Okay, let's give it a taste. Tasting our pesto. Smells good. Gonna add just a little bit of salt. I think I'm gonna add 2 more cloves of garlic to it. Oh, those pine nuts are crunching there. That olive oil, and really taste everything there. So I'm just gonna add 2 more cloves of garlic, blend it up, a little salt, some pepper, and we're ready to make our pesto cracker. Pesto, not just for pasta. Get on the cracker, it's absolutely fabulous. So sometimes you're having a party and need canapes or just something to pass around. Try a little pesto with little dollops of meat on it or tomatoes. There's so much you can do with this, right? And of course, with the pasta always works. Easy to make, okay? It's simple and easy. A little time consuming because you want to get those flavors just right. So just take your time. Piano, piano, valentano. Slow, slow, and patient. We can climb any mountain. Pesto. Love it. Healthy too.